I actually have good news and bad news. The good news is that I have my 7-inch long-range drone, which is an Apex. But the bad news is that I'm not gonna be able to do any freestyle for a while because I'm out of batteries. Currently, I can't really afford to buy new batteries due to tariffs, George Bush, Biden, Trump, and Obama too. Thanks, Obama. I'm in sort of a downturn. See, when you freelance is really fun. You know, it's fun. There's a lot of good benefits to being a freelancer. Like, you don't have a boss, you don't gotta go to work every day, you don't have to, you know, listen to somebody else tell you what to do. But there's a trade-off for that, because sometimes you're just fighting to find work or, you know, collect invoices, things like that. And there are definitely times where the income flow is not ideal. And so you have to really, you know, pinch your pennies to maintain your life. And this current downturn in my freelance life happened when I didn't have any batteries. So flying freestyle isn't really an option. But the good news is that I spent a lot of money back then, probably ill-advised, on other types of stuff. So I have at least one 6S Lion pack, which, by the way, I did not buy. That was gifted to me by somebody. And my 7-inch Apex. And the Apex, I basically took the DJI O3 Air unit out of my 5-inch quad so that I could have it in that. So at least I can fly FPV a little bit. I guess where there's a will, there's a way. Also, something very fun happened. I had my radio sitting on the back of my car with my trunk open, and my trunk, the release or the thing that holds the trunk open, is broken. And so it fell on my radio and broke the gimbal stick. Thanks, Obama. So I'm gonna go get my other radio and then use that to do this, because that isn't broken yet. So I've decided to come out to this graveyard that's out in the middle of nowhere, basically, to try to do some long range. Despite the fact that it's extremely windy, I'm not really sure if I want to do it. I'm not trying to lose another drone out here. A couple of years ago, I had this little AOS 5-inch that I tried to long range, and I lost my drone from this location. And it's probably still out there in the abyss. And I've learned a lot since then. But one thing I've learned is don't fly when it's really windy. This wind is pretty strong. I'm not really too comfortable with this. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do this, but we'll find out. You'll find out in the next 10 seconds, 5 seconds if I actually go through with flying this. You can probably hear it on the microphone. It's probably like shh, shh. You know what I said? I said, fuck it, you know, who cares? I'm just gonna do it. We're just gonna send it out, maybe like 100 feet, 200 feet, you know, no higher than 400 feet. Who cares how windy it is? Let's just do it. Who cares? Don't learn from your mistakes, people. That thing is struggling. That's probably good enough content. Maybe we'll just, you know, maybe I'll try again later, maybe not. But I'm definitely not flying that thing that far, because that would just be stupid and irresponsible. And it would be against the law to fly beyond the visual line of sight that my visual observer here can't see it, which my visual observer is right over here. It started raining anyway. I really can't do much with this. The only thing that really matters is that I tried. And you know, really, I get an A for effort. But I get an F for failure.
Hey, do you want cool FPV drone t-shirts? Then consider checking out deathquads.com. I have an assortment of cool FPV t-shirts that you can buy today. New designs will be coming soon, in the future, at some point. So remember, check out deathquads.com today.
Today's a little less windy, so I'm doing a little bit of short mid-range. So I'm kind of scared because I keep having OSD elements on my 7-inch just like disappear, and that's concerning for whatever reason, because I wasn't able to arm a couple of times. So I was just a little concerned about flying really far and then for some reason my quad just falling into the water. You know, I honestly don't even really want to fly far anyway. You know, I just kind of want to cruise around. and my OSD's gone again. It's a Rush flight controller that Dave sold me like a year or two ago. And when I plug my like a VTX to the 10 volt pad, anytime I would do a roll, it would just power off.
That's scary.
But so I just wired it to the battery. So I think, I don't know, but everything works. Like it flies. I think the problem is that the MSP connection is all.
I think mine flashes too, though, if I'm too high.
But what about, oh really? I wasn't too high though. I wasn't really that high at all. I'm within the legal FAA regulations.
Oh yeah.
Last time I was here, I did a little maneuver, but we were down that way, further down the river, and I went under this bridge, and then I almost hit the power lines because I didn't see them, and it was very scary. Whoa, power lines out of nowhere. Okay, I'm under the bridge almost. Yep, I'm going under the bridge. Under the bridge. Hell yeah, that was fucking sick. Now I'm coming up to the second sailboat.
Now, one thing I want to say really quickly is that everyone who has, at any time in the history of me creating videos on this channel, has subscribed to my Patreon, even for a month, even if it's $1, $5, $10, I appreciate it. You don't have to do that, and it's cool that you did that, and I generally appreciate it. Now, if you're interested in supporting me in any way and you want to sign up for my Patreon, you can do that, and I will appreciate that. Also, if that's not your thing, I'm not going to tell you how to do it. I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to try to sell you on any of this stuff. I'm just saying it's there. I'm doing it. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't, fine.